Hey everyone, so this video is concerning a situation that happened on my second channel, and I guess you could say kind of in Discord, and I just need to say first off, I was wrong. This is exactly what I wanted to try to avoid when I started doing. So let me explain to you the situation, okay? There is an individual, I don't want to put him on the spot. That's not what this video is for. This is an apology to him. And if he wants to make it known who he is, then he can. We had a conversation, and I told him if he could not tell me things about the game. He told me something that, looking at it, well, in retrospect, I mean, it wasn't that big of a deal. But the thing is that I was completely blind, and I had already played up to a certain point and come up to a conclusion that something was going to be in the game that made me really excited. And he knew that I had to be told, basically, by somebody else who had read our conversation, that my assumption was incorrect, because what he had told me, I thought it was a big deal because I thought it hinted that this thing was in the game. But come to find out, it actually wasn't. There was nothing to be spoiled. And I assumed that he was wrong. This is somebody that they've been on my channel for a long time. I enjoyed talking with them. I never wanted to ban them, but if I can be completely honest with him, and I want to be honest with you all, because I think this is something you all need to hear, so we hopefully won't have this kind of thing happen again. The reason the situation ended up like this is because I did tell him not to tell me things, and he was giving me advice on how to do things, and I was used to playing games without having, I used to have to figure things out, and that's really what I wanted to do. But before I got to tell him that, he said what he did, which was really the thing is, it wasn't a big deal in hindsight, but to somebody who's blind, which is why I still stand by what I said, that you guys shouldn't tell me anything, because we had a similar situation where I also made an incorrect assumption in IF's game, and which you guys were like, how did you even come to that conclusion? And then, I realized that wasn't the case at all. And if I hadn't have heard anything, then I wouldn't have made that assumption. But I'm trying my best to avoid spoilers. That what has happened is that I have been spoiled. I think this is a trend with YouTubers. They start off, they have good intentions, and then a couple of bad people come in and ruin it for the others. So then the YouTubers have to take a harder stance. I think it happened with Noble, when Noble was we tried, a couple of us back in the past, we tried to, I wasn't really there, but the others were, but they all used my channel as like a base. But basically, they tried to get Noble to change his Mega Dimension. When he streamed Mega Dimension, they were saying he was reading donations during the stream that broke up the flow. And Noble was thinking that, now he was in the right, like, why listen to them? But they had a good point. And it took his moderator to, I think, basically tell him that. Another YouTuber I know, I told the person in question about this. His name's Tyrone Magnus. He had blocked me for something when I was just trying to give him a legitimate criticism. I just thought that if he was going to do a live reaction, he should pause the video if he needs to make a phone call, instead of, talking on the phone while he's watching it. And I got blocked for that. And I told him I never wanted to be that type of YouTuber. So basically, guys, this is an apology to him. First off, I am sorry I made the wrong I made the wrong assumption, but this is exactly why I say not to tell me anything, because if you hadn't said anything, then we could have, just not just say anything about the future of the game, because if you had, or you hadn't, then I would have gotten to that level, and you could have just said then that it was your favorite level. That's basically what he told me, that there was a level that was my favorite level, and I was under the assumption, because many those types of games have a certain pattern. When thinking about it, the fact that they added a fan to the mix means that their pattern was broken. They did different things in this game, so that should mean that they wouldn't necessarily, I thought also, since the fan was there, the thing that I was hoping would be in there is something we all been wanting, so I thought he would have implemented it. But I did see a good reason of why they would never bring this thing back, and it made sense to me, but I still had hope, that's how much I wanted it, I guess. So I wanted to tell you I was wrong, everybody. I don't want to come off, like I said, I'm not perfect, but spoilers just, I've had so many spoilers happen in the past. I'm trying my best to, deal with it, and by doing this, I had a situation that I don't think it should have happened. So if he ever watches this video, I'll put it on both my channels. I apologize to him, and just thinking about it, if I hadn't have read, if that comment if it never happened, I wouldn't have made this video. So yeah, I'm done. I think I've been talking for a long time. I don't know what I would have done differently, except, because I think this would not have happened if he had still taken my advice, but the severity of it, what it was, is nowhere near what I thought it was. So again, I am sorry. I made a mistake. And I wanted you all to know that I made this mistake, so we can hopefully try to work and make sure I don't do this again in the future. So, thank you guys for listening.